been very fortunate the last 18 months. I've been working a little bit outside of what is our normal sort of lines of business. I've been working on a program of transformation in our organization. The time has come for us to change our technology systems, and we are actually changing and swapping out all of the old CRMs and billing systems that we use in the organization, not just in SA, but across the complete continent. What makes it very different and what has made this program so exciting is that this program has been driven from a CX person point of view. It is a business-led and customer-inspired organizational transformational program that just happens to replace all the tech as well. And that's, I think, what has made stuff really, really interesting. I've spent 18 months in this program learning so much that, you know, I thought going in, I kind of knew CX. I kind of got what it was all about. And I was on a very steep learning curve the last 18 months. And to choose only a couple of things to talk about today around what are the things that I've learned, well, it was quite honestly a little bit difficult. But the big question ultimately is, you know, do we think that CX can drive big organizational transformation programs? And I have to tell you that certainly from where I was sitting, when I looked at what I knew about CX and what I know about CX now, I can tell you that I certainly think CX has got a little bit of a way to go. You know, when we look at things, the best frameworks, approaches, and training and disciplines and all sorts of things, they don't give you the real tools that you need to do the transformation. When we think about CX, it's a great organizational buzzword. Everybody wants in on it. The focus has been shifting more and more to the C-suite, and sometimes I think almost absolving the frontline developers and process engineers and techies from the daily delivery. What I mean by that is that the more we hype CX, the more we talk about it, the more important it becomes to our CEOs. Potentially the focus shifts and the responsibility almost shifts. And you get this real sort of dichotomy where you've got, you know, where the organization is expecting these big things about CX. You're expecting your CEO to step up, your chief customer officer to step up. Everybody is talking CX. But at the end of the day, to a very large extent, CX is also delivered in the tiny, minute moments that developers create when they do a website, that process engineers create when they create a process, that frontline staff actually create when they talk to a customer or they deal with a customer. And I think that what I've really found here is that there's this gap between the boardroom and the shop floor that we need to start bridging. And that for me has been where CX hasn't really delivered. I felt, and in this program I've been feeling, connecting these two areas is really, really difficult and really important. So what are the three things I'd like to tell you about today? What the three things are that I've learned? First of all, new tech, no matter where it comes from and no matter your purpose, no matter what you're doing, is a double-edged sword. Journey mapping can be completely pointless if you don't do it right. And omnichannel is a myth. And I've put these up there with, I know that's really kind of emotive language. It's quite sort of almost pushing the boat out, being a little bit almost disruptive, in fact. And I've done that with great purpose because these are the things that I've really found over the last little while have become so evident to me. Let's start off with this whole idea that tech is a double-edged sword. You know, the problem with tech, and having sat through a number of RFPs to make your head spin, I can tell you that tech tempts us with the promise of great customer experiences. There isn't a single vendor in the market at the moment, whether they are selling you apples or whether they're selling you a billing system, who isn't promising you great customer experiences. And it's difficult because we really, really need to be clear on what we want to deliver. New tech comes in with a whole bunch of baked-in features that part of the tech stack that you buy. They're part of what you are negotiating. And you get them whether you kind of want them or not. The point being, you get them whether they make sense for your business or whether your customers need them or not. That's where the real problem comes in. Transforming your business with new techs is a massive, massive undertaking. And when you are, like we are, trying to replace all of these really key customer driving engines, these things that actually change a customer's life day to day, what you are actually doing is you are rebuilding your organization from the ground up. The volume of work, the volume of input that you've got to give in that process is significant. I think the really, really important work here is always going to be for us to wonder, how do you approach this? What do you do in the face of all this brand new tempting tech with baked in features? Well, the answer is you go back to the basics. The fancier the piece of tech is that somebody wants to sell you, the more important it is to go back to your basics. Who is your customer? Do they need this great experience that your tech is going to promise them and deliver to them? And if you do deliver it, is it going to be worth it for your business? What's the ROI? Keep on referring back to those particular questions in your mind. You know, tech becomes such a critical part of how we think about customer experience and potentially how we've been looking at customer experience, that in our organizational maturity map, we've taken the 6 pillars that we all know and love for CX, and we've developed ourselves a 7th, because the truth is CX also gets delivered by the tech, and you need to know what role the technology plays in that particular delivery. It's important because things like, how do you connect, and Mumbi was talking about this earlier on, how do you connect your customer journey all the way through your capabilities into your organization and your delivery? There is technology at stake in that particular chain of events. And that technology is really, really important. You need to know where you are in your maturity around that tech and how you're approaching that tech. So this whole idea that tech is a blessing, it's also a double-edged sword. You need to be really careful how you approach technology. The second thing I want to talk about is this idea that journey mapping can be a little bit, fruitless. First things first, you need to create for yourselves a set of design principles. And in this process, as we were going through the redesigning our organization, CX cannot be the sole custodian of great customer experiences. You can't hold that to yourself. You have to share that amongst the developers, the analysts, the engineers, and they need a way to be able to interpret your intention around designing for customers. So one of the things that we've output, and we've actually called it our customer experience cookbook, because it's a practical guide, like a recipe, on how do you create great customer experiences. In this practical guide, we have very clear examples of what you need to do. So, for example, for every task you ask of a customer, you should perform 3 or more in the background to help that transaction. And that's really key. If you think about how you talk to developers in that particular context, you're telling those developers, for every click you require a customer to do, for every field you want a customer to enter, for every action you want a customer to take to do on your website, what are the 3 things you are doing in the background to facilitate that? So there's that idea that you can start giving people who don't really know about customer experience that much. You can give them clear and practical guides around implementing the principles that you want and the experiences that you want to create in the CX world. Design for the rule, not the exception, is another one that we did. Mobile first is the 3rd one that we did. These are really, really simple guidelines that we all talk about in our organizations, and I think we instinctively know them, but it is really core that we sit down and we actually go, okay, these are the rules on how you create websites, how you create processes, how you create calls. This is how you do it for our customers. A clear set of design principles, very important for the work that we are about to do. Now, journey mapping can be pointless. And I think that where this comes from is that, I've been working in MultiChoice for 8 years now. My anniversary was just the other day. And journey mapping has always been part of the metal of the organization, part of the furniture in our organization. We've had a journey map for many, many years. And to a greater and lesser degree, the map has been absorbed and has been embraced and used across the organization. But one journey map or one view of the journey map is just simply not good enough. We need to think of the concept too simply. We think of a concept like journey mapping too simply for it to add practical value. What I mean by that is that it's honestly just a single, we think of journey mapping and we create a map. And when we're done, we put it up on a wall and we think, great, we have a customer journey map. That journey map actually delivers no practical value. Journey maps run a very wide gambit of what they're used for. You can have a journey map that sort of serves as your strategic North Star, the thing you want to aspire to. But you can also have a journey map that is your click for click, field by field, word by word process. Both of them are just as important. It's incredibly important for you to have both of these things in the organization. One version of a journey map just won't do it. You're going to need to create journey maps at very many different levels with very many different levels of detail. And you're going to need to name them and define them. I'll give you an idea. In our process, we have created 6 different types of journey maps with 6 very distinct functions. And I'd like to share them with you now. This is what we've done. First of all, you get your group customer journey map. This is your high-level map. It has 6 stages in it. It looks very similar to most organizations throughout the world, where your customer explores what they want from you, goes through joining your organization, using your product, getting help, paying, and then, you know, whether they opt to remain with you or come back to you. It's a standard journey map. And it's really well suited for an organization to understand what you're going to do with that particular journey map. Where that really works is you start organizing your organization around journey maps. And you could start thinking about, instead of thinking about sales or marketing, you now start thinking about parts of a journey like explore or join. And it's really important because it changes the focus of the organization. But I'm afraid alone, that just doesn't cut it, because it's a very high level view of how your customer moves through the organization. We've gone along and created what we've called our best state customer journey. Best state customer journeys is a level down from that. We have identified the 6 customers in our 6 kinds of customers, our 6 personas, and we have created the ideal state, the best experience we could deliver for each of those customers across the 6, for each of those 6 personas, across the duration of the journey map. That best state map is what we use as your North Star. It's an aspiring view of what you want your customer to do. The next thing that we've broken them down into is your customer journey meta stages. Now, this is literally just a level down from that, where you've got explore, join, use, help, pay, get, stay and return. These meta stages are what we use to organize how we're going to approach the different parts of the customer journey. And they're interchangeable. They're parts of that journey that we can use, parts of that journey that get reused in other parts of the journey. But it's important to know in the meta stages where you are organizing them. One level down from that are your customer journey objectives. In each meta stage, each grouping, each activity a customer is going to do, there are different themes or objectives a customer will have. So for argument's sake, if you're looking at something like pay, if you want a customer to pay, that's the meta stage. Inside of that meta stage, you would want a customer's got a whole series of objectives. And the first one for us would be the customer needs to obtain their balance. The next one is they need to be able to pay the amount due. The third one is potentially to reconnect their service. The fourth one potentially to view their invoice. The fifth one potentially to see their statement. There are a bunch of objectives that fit inside of a meta stage that are small little components of work a customer wants to do. Get my balance. And that's a component of work. It's a customer's journey objective that a customer is setting out to do. One level down from that is the customer journey narrative. And here's where we start getting into the detail. If we look at the objective, that is, I want to get my balance, the customer journey narrative is that piece of work that explains on a click-by-click basis or on a word-by-word, step-by-step process basis, the steps that customer needs to go through in order to obtain their balance. And when you start looking at it, you know, we start at the top of the pile with something like a customer journey map. There's one of those. You get down to the best state journey, there's 6 of them. There's 6 customer meta stages. When you start getting into the customer objectives, we're looking at about 110 different customer objectives. By the time we get down to the customer narratives, our program will deliver in order somewhere in the region of 3,800 different customer narratives. And you may wonder, you know, why are you delivering that? Why are you doing this much? The point is, as I said in the beginning, customer experience is delivered in small little doses in moments of time across your organization. A group customer journey map does nothing to serve that moment where a customer wants to get their balance. But if you can script and create that customer narrative at a very granular level, down from a narrative point of view, explain that customer's story as they are trying to achieve the objective they sought out to do in the beginning, that's how you then start affecting the moments of truth, those tiny little events that make a customer's relationship with your brand. The final thing, of course, is a unit of measure. And we use this to create, essentially, it's a unit of effort to estimate the amount of work we need to do. What we really are doing there is we're saying that a single customer doing a single thing on a single channel is one narrative. And that's how we calculate out the amount, the volume of work that we are going to do throughout the program. And I know that this is, you know, this for me was one of the biggest revelations in the program, is that there are many, many different kinds of journey maps. You're going to need to do more than one, and there are many of them. And you need to define them that work for your organization, and then stick to those and start sharing widely throughout the organization what each of these mean. Because just like we have phrases that pop up all over the show in our businesses, you know, that people talk about a journey map. Well, we've gotten to the stage now where when we talk about journey maps, we're actually saying, which journey map are we talking about? Because without that clear definition, you don't know what the context is. So that was my bit about how do you, you know, what is a journey map and those kinds of things. The next thing that I found incredibly interesting in this process is this whole idea of omnichannel. And here, some research from Forbes and from McKinsey around what, you know, where are we with omnichannel? What do people feel about omnichannel? And it's clear to me that there's this idea that omnichannel is a panacea for everything. It's going to fix all of the things that ail us. And I honestly think that I don't know whether omnichannel truly exists. So in the process of doing this, what we went and did is we started looking around and said, well, how are, you know, what are the things that people talk about when they talk about omnichannel? And again, it became really important for us to define, when we speak omnichannel, what are the things that we mean? So for argument's sake, I did a little bit of looking at a little bit of research amongst our Google Helps, as well as all, you know, with our partners, McKinsey and Forbes and Deloitte. And really what became very evident for me is that there are definitions of omnichannel that we use. This whole word omnichannel is actually just a descriptor. It's a descriptor. Omnichannel describes a kind of experience. On its own, it's not an experience. So broadly, I've had a look at what's in the market, and there are a couple of really important decisions or really important definitions around omnichannel. You get omnichannel marketing. This is very inside us. It goes from us towards our customers. It's about tailoring comms and offering consistent experiences across many channels, but it's fully aware of the customer in the context of the journey or narrative. So for example, John gets offers sent to him by email from Monday to Friday because he's at work and we know he's most likely to respond to emails when he's at work. So we tailor his marketing to him, and we make that respond in that particular way. You get omni-channel retail, which is incredibly prevalent in digital. It focuses on selling and is often an extension of omni-channel marketing. So you often, the one leads into the other. It's unifying lead generation and purchase across multiple channels into a single experience. And it's the thing that most people do. This is the thing that if you get right, really, really works in your sign-on journey. So as an example, a KO clicks on an Instagram post that pushes her to the app where she completes the sale. When she calls the installer, he's aware of her order, and after the activation, she gets welcome comms and her invoice all sent to her by email. What you're getting here is you're getting marketing that's happening on Instagram, tied to the completion of a sale on an app, another platform, a face-to-face engagement with an installer, and then a closeout of that experience via email. That's true omnichannel. That's really tying that marketing and retail experience all together in an omnichannel environment. You get omnichannel technology and platforms. These are enablers, that tech that makes omnichannel work. The best tech combines social sentiment, digital activities, and assisted service into a single experience across many channels. It's contingent on customer data or the known customer. It doesn't work really well if you don't know who that customer is. But having tech doesn't make you omnichannel. Having tech just means you've paid a lot of money for a computer. You actually have to have a really firm vision around how you approach omnichannel. For example, Cristiano voted for Big Brother contestant on his mobile app. But when he signs up for self-service on the app, we pop him a promo for the new Big Brother season in his app messages. That's really being able to use the tech to tie things together. There's also digital omnichannel. This is very much like I said in the beginning around tech, offering you this double-edged sword. When you buy a technology platform, sometimes it comes with different things baked in. You know, there's additional services baked into the channel. That's digital omnichannel work for you. You know, you can make your USSD and your WhatsApp channel omnichannel. The question that you have to ask is, what's the point? Why would you have an omnichannel experience across those two very distinct or very different experiences? The tech offers you the opportunity to do that. You are digitally omnichannel in that particular context, but it's not necessarily something that you want to do. Right, in omnichannel experiences, this is the real McCoy. This is the holy grail. It's few and far between. I think that the problem with omnichannel experiences is that ubiquity is often confused for omnichannel or customer 360. Just because you make a service available on every single channel does not make you omnichannel. It makes you customer 360, but the proliferation of services across different channels doesn't make you omnichannel. Old-fashioned tech that we have that's popular in Africa doesn't integrate into omnichannel experiences terribly easily. And you can think about this particularly in our context. You know, if you think about a customer receiving a countdown on her decoder, which is able to press OK on the remote control, and suddenly she gets a push USSD to repurchase her next 7 days. That would be true omni-channel experiences. But we have a problem there because things like a no return path decoder with doesn't necessarily talk to a M-Pesa that sends out a USSD for a repurchase. And these are the things that become really, really challenging. So how do you do omni-channel? What we've elected to do is that we've decided that we are going to have omni-channel, but we are going to choose the transactions, we're going to choose the platforms we deliver omni-channel on, and we're going to choose the customers we deliver omni-channel to. So we're going to focus on our high-touch experiences, avoid what we do in the transactional space. Transactional space just carries on and on and on. We're going to be looking at high value, high potential value customers, and we're going to focus on the fully managed channels that we can control. You cannot be everything everywhere to everybody. So choose the moment and for who and where you are going to be omnichannel. And those are the three big things that I learned in the last 18 months. Well, one of the three big things that I learned in 18 months. Tech can be really, really deceiving. When you're talking in the tech space, you must go back to basics. Is there an ROI for what you want to do? does your customer actually need it? Ask yourself those questions, because you can get caught in the headlights with great tech offering you fantastic baked-in experiences that you potentially don't need and your customers don't want. Second of all, journey mapping, unless you are going to expand the volume, be careful about the detail, expand the number that you want. Journey mapping can be really, really pointless. You must give everybody in your organization who's driving that change a journey map that suits their needs. One is not going to cut it. And sometimes that can have to translate into thousands. And I know in this particular instance, it doesn't, it sounds like a lot of work, but in a transformational exercise like we're going through, and the moment that we have to fundamentally change the business, creating a couple of thousand journey maps for customers is a small price to pay. And then finally, omnichannel. Be very, very careful about omnichannel. It isn't what you think it is. And the best way to approach omnichannel is to choose what you want to be, where you want to be, and who you want to be for. Do that when you talk about omnichannel, and then leave the holy grail of trying to do these fantastic omnichannel experiences for some time later.